A nice mahogany board that I bought from Erie this summer. It's 22.5 inches wide by 9 foot long. So we're going to get the top and the sides out of this piece and have a little left over. So I've got to plane it to see where the grain looks the best and where we're going to get the sides from, etc. So I guess I'll get started with it. Well, I started to smooth over the board so I could see the grain and any imperfections in the board, and of course it's a bit of work. Take a little bigger bite. Getting there. This of course got a bit of a cup in the middle of it there that's got to come out, but for the most part I can see where the grain is and which way it's going, so we got a bit more to plane. So this is why I shaved the board down, so you can see 3 holes in this side. This is the better side than the other side, and then down here we got a number of holes. So the biggest single piece I need is for the top, and so I'll mark that in here first and then work in the 2 sides, and we'll use the board as efficient as we can, try to get the most out of it. Well, I've laid out the board here. We've got one side at that's 13 by 16, another side here. This down here is extra, but it's got the holes in it, so we may be able to find some use for that later. Then the top is the biggest piece. It's 22.5 by or 22 3/4 by 33.5, so that's this piece here, and that should be fine. And then what's left over is about 31 inches, but it's got a number of holes in it here, so again I probably can work around using that for something, but I think this is about the most efficient use of this particular board. Flattening the sides.
This work in January of 1921, the founding recently surrendered Davis.
That side's pretty flat. Now I can run it through the planer. Well, I gave up using my radial arm saw. I couldn't get it straight enough across the 13 inches, so I switched over to cutting the dados on the table saw. The sides are looking pretty nice. That mahogany board was beautiful. And so I've got the tenons cut on the sides now, so it's a matter of I've got the pattern laid out there, and just like the back, I've got to saw out the pattern and then cut out the waist in between. So that's the next step. But for now, out to lunch. Marked out as before, I'm ready to cut the tenons for the sides. Cutting the tenons on the other side.
We received word earlier. Minnesota's leading classical composers, and he wrote hundreds of 150 choral pieces.
I just have to cut across. So once I cut out the tenons, then I've got a maple block here that I've got a mortise, 3/8 inch mortise cut in, so I can check the thickness and the tightness of each of the tenons, so that it should be ready to go when I put it into the leg. Fitting the legs now to the side, finished one side here. It's a pretty good fit. Well, the sides are in. I've still got to cut the pattern out of the sides yet. I've got to work on the front piece now, I think. But that's pretty much how it's going to look. We've got this pattern here that has to be, I got to trace that out and then apply it to the bottom and cut it out, but I can do that anytime. So I spent the afternoon cutting out templates here, so I've got a template here for the front apron and then the curve for the side, so I can start tomorrow to mill the stock and cut that out.